kitchen. My name's Carol Hamilton. I'm a 4-H agent in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and today I'm going to show you how to make a corn muffin. The reason I'm showing you how to make a corn muffin is because this summer, 2020, we're going to have a summer cook-off, and one of the categories that our 4-Hers can choose to compete in is the breads contest. Now, if you're a clover bud, meaning you're 5 years old to 8 years old, you'll have the opportunity to make a corn muffin to compete in this contest. So before we get started today, I've got all my ingredients measured out already. My hands are clean. I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees to save some time. And I'm just gonna quickly demonstrate how I would go about making my own corn muffin. So like I said, I've got all my ingredients measured out, and today we're gonna start with our wet ingredients. So I have 2 eggs, and we're gonna beat those together. And we can really do this all by hand, this whole recipe. So I'm just gonna whisk those until I have a nice consistency. Then I'm gonna measure out some honey, and I'll show you a trick to honey. So honey often sticks to our measuring spoons, but if we spray our spoons with cooking spray ahead of time, it'll pour right out. So we're using 2 tablespoons of honey today. I'm just gonna pour that directly into the eggs. And this is gonna give our corn muffins a nice, sweet taste. See, that poured out really nicely. And I'm gonna wipe the excess spray out because we're gonna use these spoons again for another ingredient here in a minute. Okay, now that we have our honey and our eggs together, I'm gonna beat that into one smooth mixture. Okay, so our honey and our eggs are incorporated, and now I'm going to add milk. We're gonna use 3/4 cup of 1% milk. So I'm gonna pour that in and combine it for our wet mixture. Doesn't take long at all to beat that together. Now we're gonna set that aside and we're gonna move to our dry ingredients. So today I have 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I have 3/4 cup of yellow cornmeal. I have 1/4 cup of sugar. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt from my salt dish. Make sure that's all nice and level. And then we're gonna put 1 tablespoon of our baking powder into our mix. So baking powder and baking soda are both alkaline mixtures. And when they're combined with an acid or with heat, they start to produce carbon dioxide, and that's what's going to make our corn muffins rise today. So I'm just gonna incorporate all my dry ingredients until I have an even mixture. And you can do this with another whisk or a wooden spoon. I just like to use a spatula for this because I can get around the edges of the bowl. Okay, our next step is we're actually gonna combine our wet and our dry ingredients. And we also have a stick of butter to combine as well. That's already melted. So I'm gonna slowly pour my wet ingredients into my dry ingredients, and I'm just gonna keep stirring as I'm doing this. I'm gonna stop about halfway, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour about half of my butter mixture. And this recipe makes 12 corn muffins. For the contest, you'll have to supply the judges with 3 corn muffins that they can judge. So you can make a batch of 12 and then pick the best 3. As you can see, our mixture is not totally smooth. It still has some lumps in it, but all the dry, large lumps have been incorporated. So So we have a nice cornbread mixture now. Now you can always dress up your cornbread or your corn muffins. Sometimes I like to add jalapenos and give it a little bit of a kick, or chives. I've also added whole corn kernels into it, which just gives it a little burst when you bite into your corn muffin. So don't feel like you have to stick to my corn muffin recipe. You can be creative and maybe create your own corn muffin. Before we start putting it into our pan, I'm using a just regular cupcake or muffin tin. We're not using paper liners, and that's because we want that nice crisp edge that our corn muffins will have, and we just spray our pan. So I'm gonna spray all the wells. And then we can scoop out our mixture. I'm gonna use about a half a cup. And we wanna fill them about 3/4 of the way full, which isn't gonna be quite all of my half cup, but this is a good measuring tool for me. So my pan is ready. I'm gonna wipe down the edges where I got some of my mixture. It's easier to clean off now than it is once it's been baked on or crusted on. And our corn muffins are gonna go into the oven. Again, it's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit on the regular bake setting. If you have a convection oven, you might wanna set it to 325. And these are gonna go in for 17 to 20 minutes. So I'm gonna check on them at about the 15-minute mark just to see where their progress is, and then add the appropriate time from there.